Recently, we heard in the news the fact that a Nigerian woman or a Canadian now was arrested for hate speech, for threatening people, and so on. It started a while back when they had a session on TikTok.
Record me very, very well. Record
Exactly.
me.
We are going to give them
time to start in the Yoruba and the Benin. Put for all una food for work.
And that session spiraled down into some darkness. Today I have with me, joining us from Edmonton, Alberta, Idowu Ohioze from Andrew Law Office. He is a lawyer based in Canada, and he will be telling us the implications of what has happened, the arrest and other things to expect. And we'll also look at the immigration story that is currently making waves in Canada, having people protest and so on. Idowu Ohioze, welcome to the recap.
Thank you for having me today.
I'm sure you know the story already of Amaka Sonnberger and how it has played out that the Toronto police arrested her. Tell me, what should we be expecting from this arrest?
The news of the arrest of Ms. Sonnberger by the Toronto Police Service is indicative of perhaps some progress in the investigation by the Toronto Police Service. What I have read in the media myself, here when I say media, the Canadian media, is that the Toronto Police Service, through the Crown Prosecution Service in that province, intends to lay charges against Ms. Sonnberger. So what can we deduce from the arrest? It would indicate that the police may have found some evidence upon which a criminal charge could be laid.
So right now there is the case of hate speech and there is a case of threats. What is the difference here and how do they regard both in Canada?
First, I'll speak about the similarity. Both are criminal offenses or acts that are prohibited under the criminal code in Canada. And both can be laid at the same time. The decision on what offense to charge Ms. Sonnberger with will be made by the Crown Prosecution Services. Hate speech is a very serious offense in Canada. Both hate speech and partnering threat are both very serious offenses in Canada. The difference, of course, is that hate speech is far more recent in terms of being prohibited act under the criminal code than partnering threat. Partnering threat has been part of the criminal code for a long time. My sense is that she may likely be charged at least with partnering threats because her comments as seen in the TikTok video or videos that have been making the round really contains threats. And in my opinion, the test for proving uttering threats is somewhat lower than proving uttering of hate speech. The reason being that in order for the Crown to prove the charge of uttering threats against Ms. Sonnberger, the Crown only needs to show that she knowingly uttered threats. And that's according to section 264.1 of the Criminal Code in Canada. For your viewers who may not be familiar with legal terms and principles, every offense for the most part has to have a mental element. Every offense for the most part has to have a physical element. Knowledge is a type of mental element, and it's a lower mental element than intention, which also means that it is far easier to prove. To prove that Ms. Sonnberger knowingly uttered the threats as alleged, it will be easier because there are videos, or there is a video, TikTok video, that really shows her saying those words. So knowledge will be easier to be proved to prove for the Crown in that instance than something hate speech. So my sense is that at the minimum she will be charged with uttering threats.
But the fact that she knew what she was saying, the evidence is there because it's recorded. And she kept saying, you can record me, and so on, makes it a case that may not be too difficult to handle. And if that be, how long do you think such trials last for? And what is sentencing like for hate speech and threat?
We need to know that there are a number of options. Ms. Sonnberger would have, if she's charged with the offense of uttering threats. One would be to challenge the charge, in which case she's disputing that she uttered threats. Another would be for her to accept that she uttered threats, in which case she's pleading guilty, but then negotiates a sentence. What will be her sentence, the punishment essentially. And so, given that there is a video how they're making the route, my sense is that she retains a lawyer, the conversation should center around not challenging the charge because there's evidence, it's easy to prove. There's a TikTok video in which she made those threats, except of course she's going to deny identity. She's not sure, she's more likely to plead guilty, given that there is evidence to support it. But that does not mean that she has to. She could also challenge the charge, in which case she's asking the Crown to prove her guilt. Now, if she decides to challenge the charge, in which case she's asking the Crown to prove her guilt, it would have to go to a trial. Now, the length of the trial would depend, in my view, on the Crown, what we know as the Crown election, because uttering threats is a hybrid offense in Canada, which means that the Crown can either charge her by indictment, which is the highest level of offenses you can lay against somebody, or summarily, which is a much lower offense. It's the same offense, but the Crown, the law gives the Crown to the opportunity to ability to proceed by indictment, which indicates that no, we take this very seriously, or summarily, which for your viewers in Nigeria will understand they will fall under the misdemeanor class. If it's by indictment, will fall under the felony class. Felony is much higher class of offense than misdemeanor. Now, if it's by indictment, which is a felony, is charged as a felony, she will be entitled to face a trial at the higher courts, in which case she will be entitled to a jury trial, and that could make that the trial would take much longer, obviously because Ontario is a very busy jurisdiction. She may or may not be able to go to trial sometime this year, but what you need to know is that cases go fast here. They don't end up as delayed as you have what you may have in other jurisdictions. There is what is known as the Jordan principle, or the Jordan timeline in Canada, which is that any case that is charged by indictment must be concluded within 30 months from the day the offense was charged. If she is charged summarily, it must be concluded within 18 months. So the answer to your first part of the question is that Ms. Sonnberger, if she contests the charge, will go to a trial within 30 months. Certainly will go to trial within 30 months.
So like how many years are we looking at now if found guilty for any of these two charges?
For uttering threats, the law has set a maximum custodial sentence. There is no minimum, but there's a maximum. Now, to explain that a bit, the fact that there's no minimum means that she could receive non-custodial sentence, which means that she could be sentenced to other form of punishment that would not involve going to prison. So she could be fined, she could be placed on probation, she could be put on house arrest, which is a sentence that is sent in a house, okay? And so there's a whole range of punishment that can be imposed. But she could also be sent to prison. And if the judge decides to send her to prison, the maximum she can spend in prison will be 10 years. So that's what I meant by the law has set a maximum sentence, but there's no minimum, there's no minimum sentence that can be imposed. So it ranges from anywhere from 12-month probation, imprisonment, 12-month probation, to being sent to prison for up to 10 years. Like I said earlier, the minimum I expect that she will be, if she is charged with any criminal offense at all, I expect that it will at least be uttering threats.
Okay, finally, on this part of the story we are facing today, does it count for anything that maybe she was retaliating? Maybe she was just, giving back what she had been receiving?
When you issue threats and you say it in retaliation for comment that have been made against you, it's not a defense in the law, under the law in Canada.
Okay. We're speaking with Idowu Ohioze, joining us from Edmonton in Alberta, Canada. And we've been looking at the Amaka Sonnberger issue, the way the case will play out in court and so on. Just quickly, let's use this to wrap up. The new laws that they have now in Canada concerning immigration. We've seen some people protesting. We've seen students protesting about the new laws. Can you just give us a little hint on what it's all about? And when we come back for part 2, we'll now spread it out properly.
Certain changes had recently been introduced by the Canadian government with respect to work permits for visitors and changes made also to study permits. So let's start with the visitor visa holders first. During the COVID pandemic period, the Canadian government introduced a change, a very pivotal one, to visitor visa. The change essentially enabled visitors to Canada to apply for work permit while in Canada. That means that for the most part, they did not require what is known as an LM or labor market opinion. So that's doorway to the labor market in Canada has essentially been shut, affecting this month, September 2024. The government now has decided that henceforth, visitors to Canada can no longer apply for work permit while in Canada. And the government has now simply reverted to the status quo that existed before the COVID pandemic. The second change of importance that has also been introduced by the current Canadian government is that study permit holders, and these are people who are in Canada study either towards a first degree or a second or third degree, can no longer work full-time when school is in session. But during COVID, again, because of the fact that there was no mobility of labor essentially during COVID because of travel restriction, the Canadian government at the time introduced changes that allows study permit holders to obtain full-time employment when schools were in session and work full-time hours even though schools were in session. That change now has been ignored back to what used to happen, which is students can only work for a certain number of hours when school is in session. But there's also a slight change to that. Now, instead of the 20 hours per week, students can now work for 24 hours a week when school is in session. So this essentially are the changes that have been introduced by the Canadian government.
All right, we'll stop here for today. Thank you so much, Idowu, for your time. We're going to do this again. And as I told you, we'll be looking at some other pathways that you could use legally to travel still to Canada. Thank you so much for your time, Idowu. And I do wish you the very, very best.
Well, thank you for the opportunity. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for watching the Cordelia Ugbe recap. I'll be back next time. And until then, be careful what you put online. Be careful what you say online. Because you know what? It could come back and bite you in places you do not want bitten.